I'm going to show you this. I don't know if you can see it, but it is a Nuka-Cola bottle cap. And it looks kind of like Coca-Cola, but it's actually Nuka-Cola, which is a thing from the Fallout universe. And as you see behind me, there is a new California Republic flag with two heads on a bear, a two-headed bear on it. What does this all mean? Why do I have a bunch of Fallout memorabilia, which is, by the way, where all these things come from? It is a video game. It is a video game series you may or may not have heard of. Why do I love it so much? What is it about Fallout I fucking love? I started talking about it in the last episode, and then I left you guys hanging because I wanted to build some tension and get you guys a reason to subscribe and get some more videos from me. I want your attention. I want your attention. But why? So I'm all about living a passionate life, and when I was 7, I moved from Hershey, Pennsylvania to California, and I visited my best friend in first grade. I visited him in his place in Hershey when I was like 16 or 17, and he was playing Fallout. And like I said in the last video, I think it was Billy? I might be getting the character's name wrong. There's a character that would always ask for water, and if you gave him water, he would, you'd get karma, which would make people nicer to you in the game and give you deals and stuff. And you could also get some stuff by having bad karma to kind of make you like a devil in the game in a way where people treated you badly, but you had powers. But the good stuff, you gave the guy water, then you get good karma, and he just completely blew him up. And I'm like, this is so cool. You can do whatever you want, and there's like really gory graphics. The graphics suck for most Fallout games, even compared to the things of their time, just because they put so much energy and effort into the world building. It's set, depending on the game, it's set like in 22 something or 23 something. In the nuclear wasteland of a world that has been hit by so many bombs. So there's a bunch of mutated creatures, which is why there's a two-headed bear on the New California Republic flag. There's a bunch of warring factions and different people, different like groups. Like for instance, in the California, Nevada region, in Las Vegas, for instance, because there's Fallout New Vegas is set in the post-apocalyptic Las Vegas area. I think in the 2300 something, but I might be wrong about that. That one is where you have to join or work for yourself, but there's warring factions of the New California Republic, of Caesar's Legion, which is like a Roman-style army led by a Caesar. There's some other people at play. There's Mr. House. There's the guy who actually plays Joey from Friends, plays a character, I completely forgot his name, but he has a checkered suit on, and he's an interesting cat. And it's a really cool universe, really intricate and really amazing. And there's a few things I love about it. First of all is you can get lost in it, and that's super fucking cool. But I also love the creativity. I am a guy, I see myself as an artist, which has been really hard for me to own because I guess I'll go on that tangent. Okay. I'm explaining why I love Fallout so much. And I'm talking about why I'm an artist and why that is. I'm just sharing my train of thought so I can come back to it. Why it's hard for me to acknowledge that, because I've always been into art and creativity, but when I told my dad after high school that I wanted to go to graphic design school, he showed support and was like, okay, so research some graphic design schools. And every graphic design school I would come up with, he would shoot down for some reason or another. And so I took that as you can't be an artist. And I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he was being passive aggressive and he really didn't want me to be an artist. I mean, he seems supportive. I don't know exactly why he did that. But it really discouraged me. And then like later I got my associate's degree without any type of specialization. And then I asked my dad again. And at that point, I didn't know that I could support myself through college. I didn't have any confidence in doing that. So I probably could have done that, but I decided not to. But I tried to ask him again. I'm like, hey, can I go to, I want to go to graphic design school. And he was like, okay, sure. Like, let's, show me this graphic design school. And I did. And he was like, well, this problem, that problem, that problem, that problem. And it never ended up happening. And so I was left discouraged about going after my passions and being an artist. And then I went to Rutgers, did a few years at Rutgers, wanted to transfer to the art school. But by that time, I had done like 4 years of college or so. I didn't have a bachelor's, but I had an associate's, and I would have had to start all over to get my art degree. And I'm like, well, this is just too late now. So it's like my dad would pay for art college at Rutgers, but it's a little too late. So I ended up traveling and doing this and doing that, and really never claiming that idea, that like identity, that like art. I love art, but I love art. I love making art, even if it's like professional art. Like even like I even consider my photos art, and there's a purpose to them. Like art doesn't have to be purposeless. There can be practical art. Like pottery is a practical art. You make something that you drink out of. I made a carved hand out of wood that I stick on the wall, and then I hang my keys and I put my wallet in it, and it's just stuck on the wall. It's a wooden hand. I've showed it in some other videos before because I'm very proud of it, as I should fucking be proud of it because it is amazing. But art, I like art that serves a purpose. And my photography always serves a purpose. It's to advertise, or to commemorate memories, or for dating profiles. Like this purpose, that's something that you use. And so I see art as like, yes, it can just be decorative, it can be expressive, it can be exploratory, but I like art that serves a purpose because I like to be all spiritual and mystical and shit, but I also like to have my feet on the ground and be practical. And so if I can make art that I can see and use, it makes me very happy. So that's my whole like I'm an artist spiel. But I love Fallout because you see like the work of so many artists. Like you go into a room and there's even the way the skeletons are laid out, like pre-war skeletons. Like maybe there's one of them where there's one place in Fallout 4 where you go into this abandoned vault, or I don't even think it was a vault. It was like some kind of government thing, and you go into the terminal inside the facility, and it's like, oh, like Shane went outside to go get something, and I had to close the door on him, and oh my God, like I don't, and then I heard the blast, and I don't think he's okay, but I can't open the door because of all the radioactivity, and oh, what did I do? What have I done? But I followed the rules, and it was just this guy like kind of journaling in the computer about how he had to leave his coworker outside. And then as you approach the trap door from the outside to go in, you see this guy like reaching towards, like the skeleton reaching towards the door. And then it's like, oh wow, like that's supposed to be Shane. I'm probably getting the name wrong, but that's Shane. Like that skeleton is his coworker he's talking about. Like just the attention to detail there. There's so many instances in that in the game. It's like how many people have to be on board for that? You have to have the people who write the game. You have to have the people who make the 3D models, the people that place the 3D models in the world. And then you have like backstories behind how the world came to be. Like you have these cars that have atomic engines, and if you shoot at the cars, they will actually have a small nuclear explosion, and that's one effective way to kill big enemies is if they're near a car and you're not. You shoot at the car blows up, and it deals a ton of damage to the enemy, and then even if you go nearby, you'll get radiation. And it's just like the attention, and so that was also, and so it's essentially an alternate reality where instead of putting effort and energy and resources into developing digital technology, we developed atomic technology after World War II. And so like after it was essentially like an alternate reality that split from World War II. And so everything's retrofuturistic, design language is stuck in the 50s in a way, and digital technology is very primitive. Computers that you see, which were developed in 2077, are like, they look like 80s computers. Like they're all terminal, they're all like DOS terminal console windows, and like the video games that you can play in game are like Atari. You can put like a holotape in like this thing on your wrist. It's called a Pit Boy, which looks like a big old computer that was like a big old 1980s computer that's stuck on your wrist. And you can put these holotapes in it, and it's essentially an Atari level game that you can play in the game. And it's like, it's just such a fascinating world, and you have all these people. all these designers, these writers, these like people with these creative visions, these designers, like people that designed like a whole world of products. Like Sugar Bombs is like a cereal. There are these Mr. Gutsy robots, and then I think there's There's another robot that's around the house, but they're these like floating robots with these jets that kind of move them around, and they're these AI, these artificial intelligence helpers, and it's just such a cool world, and I geek out on it because I think it's fucking fascinating that you have all these people doing so many different things, creating this fake world that has never existed, but is like somewhat based on an alternate reality that could have happened, and just the creative vision that had to go into that excites the hell out of me. It excites me so much. So that's another reason why I love Fallout. I love Fallout so much because it excites my passion of being a creator, of just imagining working with a group of people. Shout out to Bethesda, hire me. Working with a group of people that will 3D model things that are based on like a larger vision of what this world entails, and it's just wow, it's fucking wow. Really fucking excites me. It just gets me going. I have a ton of Fallout memorabilia around the house, and I geek the fuck out about it. And then another reason I love it is because it ties me to my past. It ties me to my friend from Hershey that I was having a sleepover with, and it reminds me of the home that I lost. And so in a way, it's kind of like a reminder of what could have happened. Like there's this fantasy that I have of if I never moved to California, then my life would have been perfect. And it probably wouldn't have been. I mean, my parents' divorce wasn't only because they moved to California. It was a lot of other things. And in the end, my parents probably would have divorced if I stayed in Hershey. My life would not necessarily have been much better. And some of the other problems, like my mom getting me diagnosed with a lot of things and trying to fix me, and in the end, kind of abusing me and gaslighting me into believing that I was dependent when I wasn't, that was already happening in Hershey to an extent. So it was like, it wasn't necessarily like my life would have been better. I don't really know what my life would have been like, but I have this fantasy that if I stayed in Hershey, that my life would have turned out differently. And I think Fallout is kind of like is tied to that fantasy, because the first time I saw somebody play Fallout and heard of Fallout was when I saw my best friend when I lived in Hershey, when I visited back there. My best friend was playing Fallout 3 on his PlayStation. Or no, I think he was playing it on his Xbox, actually. He's probably playing I think he was an Xbox guy. He's probably playing on his Xbox 360. But that really fucking excites me. That really excites me, the idea of like what would happen if first of all, it's interesting because Fallout is like what would happen if in the world we didn't put our effort into digital technology, we put it into atomic technology. And then like for me, it's like what would happen if I stayed in Hershey and developed my life there and stayed in one place. And I don't know what would have happened, and so it's almost like there's an alternate reality for me, just like there is in the game. So there's so much about Fallout that I love. I might do I'll do some thinking and see if there's other points I can come up with about why I love Fallout so much, in which case I will do another episode on this. I'm not sure if I want to do a second part, but yeah, man, it really helps me connect deeply to my passion for creating, for being a creator. And with that, I will leave you until next time. And in the words of Sean Connery, may he rest in peace, if you like this video, please subscribe and like it. And if you don't, then don't. And I do have a lot of affiliate links in the profile description below. And those affiliate links have products such as my camera, my lens, the lights I use, like the light that is lighting my face right now that I'm covering, this microphone, this shock mount, this microphone stand, the light you see in the background, and a lot of other things too. So if you want to become a creator or become a photographer or any of those things, or just like the products, then if you use my affiliate links at no extra cost to you, I get a commission. So please go ahead. If you like any of those products, it would be a great help to the channel. And until next time, my lovely subscribers.